A very good morning to you all. I am Derrick Ian Joshua. I work in the field of environment sustainability. In the next few minutes, I would share with you some of the experiences and knowledge I have gathered in my journey as an environmental management professional over the past decade. Global climate change and its impact on society and life on Earth is a challenge society as a collective needs to face. The urgency with which mitigation actions are deployed will eventually decide the fate of future generations. Hard truths supported by scientific proof can no longer be ignored. Developed and developing nations need to work in tandem as they both share the same planet. India has been a forerunner in environmental conservation efforts since the beginning of global environmental movement, which has its genesis in the Stockholm Conference of 1972. It was here in this conference that the Indian Prime Minister, Ms. Indira Gandhi, in her seminal speech, indicated the connection between environment and poverty. The best way to bring about a change is to lead others by setting an example. As the saying goes, change begins at home. My journey in the field of environment started when I came to Manipal in the year 2008, and there has been no looking back since. My goal has always been clear: know more, learn more, research more, consult the leaders in the field, and apply them. The last part, the application, is where the fun begins. No matter what your preparation in terms of technology, adaptation, risk identification, costing, these projects at the implementation stage tend to have a unique ability to surprise you, akin to a child's tendency to suddenly throw tantrums for no reason. Well, it's not always smooth sailing. Environmental management is not a straightforward switch on, switch off mode of operation. Multiple variables which are not in one's control often delay intended outcomes. The journey has surely not been an easy one, nevertheless interesting and fulfilling. In the beginning, people often warned me of the difficulties involved in the task of establishing an eco-friendly arrangement in a student town. This made me work harder and think of innovative methods to achieve my vision. The key areas contributing to campus sustainability were first identified and appropriate controls were applied based on best available technology. Let's call it BAT. Choice and application of BAT depends upon requirement and application. To cite a simple example, wastewater treatment is an important area where I have been working, and if I were to ask a casual question as to what is the best technology I may adopt, the reply I often get is membrane filtration or reverse osmosis. Well, these answers no doubt are not wrong per se, but in my context of operation, I would not adopt them. The answer to this question for me would be: what is the intended use of the treated water? What is the volume we intend to treat? What is the pollution strength of the wastewater? Is it a 24 bar 7 bar 365 days operation? And lastly, what is the cost? These are key questions that, as environmental managers, we need to address. Each problem statement is different. There is no one size fits all. Looking at the project life cycle from design stage to execution stage, followed by operational requirements, it starts with technical evaluation, followed by feasibility, and then comes the cost of the project. To me, cost is one area that often makes or breaks the deal. Let's go back to the example I cited earlier. If you choose either of the two, membrane filtration or RO, then the project cost would easily be double. Not only that, then comes the operational cost, which would also easily be double. Now, to put things in perspective and show you the link between environment and cost, let's go back a little back in time. All of us are aware of the Bhopal gas tragedy that happened in the intervening night of 2nd and 3rd December 1984, when 40 metric tons of highly toxic methyl isocyanate escaped into the atmosphere from the Union Carbide chemical plant, leading to environmental contamination and human suffering to a scale that would rival the ravages of any war. So, what failed? Was there no technology at that time? Was it negligence? Was it ignorance? Or was it cost? Food for thought. One of the key challenges while addressing environmental issues like waste management or water management is the cost of implementation versus the environmental impact of one hand and the economic advantages on the other. In reality, the latter is one of the strongest driving aspects that prompts organizations to adapt change. The success of any project depends on the depth of the analysis during the design stage, taking into consideration multiple variables that often are challenging to even recognize, let alone predict. Another very important fallout of sustainable campus design is its positive impact on society and the neighborhoods. I would like to share a few initiatives that I was part of. The strategy developed is divided into four major verticals: waste management, water management, energy management, and green space maintenance, along with transportation. Waste materials that are generated on campus are segregated into at source, domestic waste, biomedical waste, hazardous waste, electronic waste. So domestic waste are further segregated at households into wet waste and dry waste. Wet wastes are fed into the composting facility and composted. Institutional wastes are segregated into recyclables like paper, metals, plastic bottles, thermocol, and so on. These items are then recycled. Canteen wastes are composted. Biomedical wastes are generated primarily at the hospital as well as laboratory facilities on campus. Here again, the principle of segregation at source is implemented ward-wise, floor-wise, and collected centrally. This is then handed over to the authorized agency for further management, be it incineration, autoclaving, and destruction. Hazardous wastes are generated primarily through maintenance activity of diesel generator sets and transport fleet located on campus. These items are stored in secured containers and disposed of to an authorized agency. Electronic wastes are the new generation wastes whose quantity has significantly risen due to the increase in IT infrastructure, followed by introduction of energy efficient lighting solutions. Although they are energy efficient on the plus side, in the end it needs special disposal conditions. So as one can see, the solution to one environmental problem can adversely impact another area, thus nullifying the positive impact. Life cycle assessment is now being incorporated in the sustainability planning and decision making phase. One of the major areas of focus, which is simple and cost effective, is wastewater reclamation. More than 90% of the water consumed is recycled for use in university gardens. Apart from this, grey water treatment plants recycle water and make it fit for use for trial flushing in few buildings. Energy management was early on recognized to be significant in terms of volume and scope to the university, because energy generation is one of the most important sources of carbon emissions worldwide. Steps were initiated, especially in new projects, where design principles incorporated energy demand as one of the inputs. Energy efficient equipment has now become a part of all projects executed. In order to address the existing equipment vintage, management plans and policies are brought out specifying end of life based on time and usage. This ensures that a phase-wise replacement is continuously effected, thus affecting and achieving the goals of energy management. Optimum utilization of energy, that is solar energy, is also achieved through utilization of solar hot water systems that occupy rooftop of all hostels, thus catering to the bathing needs of students. Photovoltaic cells help in self-generation of electricity throughout the year. This apart, green energy procurement is another initiative supplementing MAHE's energy needs, and today approximately 60% of the energy demand is met from green energy sources. This excludes hot water generation. Continuous efforts are made in adopting BAT, that is the best available technology, wherever feasible, keeping an eye on cost effectiveness. Creation of green spaces afford many benefits such as maintaining a cooler microclimate, improved aesthetics, nesting and food for avifauna, groundwater penetration during rainfall, as well as irrigation, thus effectively recharging groundwater. Carbon sequestration and filtering of air pollutants helps maintain good air quality on campus. The efforts in composting and wastewater treatment pay off here, as these now become vital inputs in development and sustenance of green cover throughout the year. Green transportation by use of 100% electric cars has been initiated in the campus, catering to the staff and student movement within the campus as well as outside the campus. Campus patrolling is using EVs these days. Students are encouraged to use bicycles. Covered parking has been provided at hostels for the same. Other measures implemented a banning of single-use plastic carry bags, non-procurement and substitution of mineral water bottles with filtered water in meetings, conferences, provision of exam pads for the student examinations, thus reducing paper consumption to a large extent. The measures outlined have been implemented on a continuous basis over the past decade. Further improvements in energy efficiency are envisaged in the area of better real-time monitoring, faster fault resolution, more efficient water fixtures, continual improvement in green cover development, etc. This environment sustainability is a journey we have just begun and we have a long way to go. The past decade has helped me to gain in-depth insights into the varied challenges and to provide solutions and helped understand the intricate impacts our actions have on the planet. I would like to acknowledge all the individuals who are part of the team I work with. I also acknowledge TEDx for giving me an opportunity and platform to share my thoughts and experiences. So join the countdown and good day to all. Thank you.